Hello and welcome back to GT PvM. It's Gaz here for another video today, and today I'm going to be bringing you another EOC PvM guide. This time it's going to be something a little bit different to what is normally done, and that is ranging the QBD. Now I'm sure many of you have already killed the QBD, and if you have, then you're probably familiar with the standard methods of killing it, that is the maul and drygore weapons, basically just mealing it. And some of you may be familiar with the ranged method, however I am going to go into quite a bit of depth in this video, so you may learn something. So first of all, let's go into setup. Okay, so the best armor to use, I find, is Void armor, although this can be substituted with Armadillo or Pernix. I do prefer Void, usually Elite Void, but I lost my Elite Void a few days ago, so I've been working on getting that back. If you have Elite Void, it is much better to use, and I would strongly encourage using it. With regards to weapons, the Royal Crossbow is the best ranged weapon to use, obviously with Royal Bolts. If you don't have it, a Zarite Bow is almost as effective, and then the bare minimum is a Crystal Bow. I wouldn't recommend going below a Crystal Bow. Dual chaotic crossbows may work. I haven't tried it out myself, but that's up to you. Your cape, I would recommend a Dungeoneering cape, or if you're using a unicorn, a spirit cape, or obviously anything higher, so sorry, not Dungeoneering cape, a skill cape. Amulet of Fury is good. Saradomin's Murmur works very well as well. I've got Ragefire boots on. To the best of my knowledge, they work just as well as Glaven boots, and Stadfast's boots are the same, so I don't know, if you heard something different, then you would probably be preferring to go with Glaven boots. However, that is up to you. And the ring is the Archer's Ring, or Archer's Ring Eye, or I prefer to use the 6th Age Circuit, because in addition to giving the same ranged critical bonus, it also has an armor boost of 8. It's not much, but it is helpful, so I prefer to use that. Then you can also use the Ring of Wealth if you prefer not to waste inventory slots on it. Your aura of choice would be Penance. If you don't have Penance or it has run out, then Vampirism is an excellent substitute, followed by Reverence. With regard to familiars, a Pack-Yak or any lower Beast of Burden is suitable, or a Unicorn Stallion and Scrolls. You can take Dreadnips, however they are not necessary. I don't take them myself, as I find that the kills usually go fast enough without using them, and they don't do any significant amount of damage. You can use Rocktails or Sharks, and I'll show you how to set up your inventory in a moment. The inventory setup is as follows. I recommend having overloads, or at least extreme ranging potions, so you're going to want a flask of that, a flask of Prayer Renewal, a flask of Super Anti-Fire. This method does require Super Anti-Fire, as the ranged weapons are two-handed, and Adrenaline Flask, and that is optional. I also take along 5 Prayer Flasks if I'm not using Penance. If I'm using Penance, don't worry about that. I usually take a Super Restore Flask, however, as I do use Saradomin Brews. If you don't have overloads, you will be wanting to substitute the Prayer Flasks with Super Restore Flasks, and the Saradomin Brews provide a bit of extra healing for when you need some quick healing. I take Rocktails. You can take Sharks. They're pretty much as effective. I take a Ring of Wealth switch right at the end of the kill when I'm getting the loot, and I also take my Captain's Log because it is automatically kept on death and provides a teleport very close to the QBD lair, so I don't have to wait for the home teleport animation. I use a Beast of Burden, in this case a Pack-Yak, because I have the summoning level for it, and I fill that up with Rocktails, and I find that to be very efficient. I usually go through a full flask of overload before I have to bank and restock. Now, moving on to some of the kills, I'll show you some examples from kills, so you can get a feel for what it's like to kill the QBD with range. So, range in the QBD is quite a bit different from any other method. From the meleeing method of killing the QBD, it takes advantage of a couple of little you can't really take advantage of in a melee kill. The first of which is coming up right here, and that is your character's proximity to the first artifact. Obviously, it was quite a long first phase. I wasn't very effective during it, but given how close you are, the minute the artifact becomes active, you can instantly click on it and not have to move, which means that the chances of the QBD summoning one of the giant worms is very slim. It makes the kill much easier. As I'm sure you'll all know, the giant worms are quite annoying to deal with, and so it is quite a benefit. It comes when the QBD uses its flame wall attack. Now, as you can see, I am in the ideal position, standing where I started off, to avoid the second flame wall. Now, this is because the QBD breathes gaps in 3 preset places, the first of which you can see here, and by standing in one of the preset places, you will always be able to dodge at least one of the flame walls, and if you're clever, you'll be able to dodge a second, as you'll see in a moment when the QBD does its second flame wall. Now, ordinarily, I would dodge the soul, but I kind of screwed up there, so yeah, and here we go. Here is the second flame wall, and as you can see, I dodged by running across to the second gap, so I'll show that again really quickly. As you can see, by knowing the preset location of one of the gaps, I was able to jump into it really quickly without any confusion as to where it may have been, and I avoided 1500 life points worth of damage, which is quite significant. But the position I chose in for the second phase was the one closest to the second pillar. This means I can get to the pillar very quickly and activate it as soon as I can. And you'll note that the third position that I stand in is also very close to the third pillar, which means that I can avoid both the flame wall and the preset gap and get to the pillar very, very quickly. It means that less grot worms come out and makes for an easier kill, as you'll see in half a moment. So I'll just watch the clip through for a second. And I got very lucky in that I only got the one flame wall in this particular phase, but I did have to run backwards through the flame wall, so I took quite a bit of damage running back through there. You are going to want to kill the time stop souls, as you usually do, but another benefit of this particular method of killing the QBD is that I don't have to move when the QBD breathes are extremely hot flames. As you can see, I only get hit by the minor damage as opposed to the 1950 damage that it would hit if I was in the main part of the heat. So as you watch, I don't have to dodge any of the flames, and the reason that I've moved further forward in the platform is so that I have room to dodge if the QBD summons her 4 minions. She didn't in this kill, but I've got another kill which I'll show you in a moment in which she does. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's the loot from that particular kill. In this kill, it was much the same. I did have the same method of killing it, so I was using the Royal Crossbow in this one, and it worked very well. As you can see, it was a much better kill than the last one. QBD didn't block nearly as many shots as she did in the previous kill. This was actually done before the last kill. So as you can see, there's the preset gap, and there is the quick activation of the first pillar. And again, taking advantage of the gaps and knowing where they were, I could quickly escape back into the second gap. I was dodging the minions much better, and just in general taking advantage of the points that I addressed earlier. This was actually a very good kill, especially since I was on vid. I usually lag quite a bit when but I got back to the artifact really quickly, which was excellent, and then I was in place to avoid the first gap in the flame wall in the third phase. So, and then I got a blue phase, which I didn't actually get in the previous kill. But this was a very good kill, and dodging the minions well, and you can see just how much damage you can do very quickly. I didn't have any trouble with doing the required damage, and as you see, I only eat a bare minimum of food. I prefer to use the Royal Crossbow over the Zarite Bow, as the Zarite Bow pulls you close to the QBD. You have to run further to get to the artifacts, which is quite annoying, as you'll see in a moment. Anyway, at the end of this clip, actually, I got quite an excellent loot, so I'll show you that now. To the loot chamber, you can see that I really managed to pull off quite an excellent loot on vid. I was really happy about this. My best loot to date, definitely. Picked up a Visage and a Royal Sight. Anyway, I'm going to cut over to a clip of myself killing the QBD with a Zarite Bow now. I'll put on a little bit of music and you can watch that through and see for yourself the difference between the Royal Crossbow and the Zarite Bow. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later.
Don't you worry, don't you worry. There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes. In a happy home, I was a king, I had a golden throne. Those days are gone, now the memories on the wall. I hear the songs from the places without tomorrow.